What's going on, my loves? It's Knowledge Butterfly. 2 days back to back with my videos. As always, sending you guys out peace, blessings, love, and abundance. And first and foremost, before I even get this video started, as you can see, I did a little, show enough to my hair. You know what I'm saying? Who's the master? If anybody is if anybody is familiar with the movie The Last Dragon, it's one of my favorite movies of all time. And Shonuff was my favorite character in the movie, who was actually played by Julius Carey, who transitioned in August of 2008. He transitioned, and actually, he has a birthday coming up. Julius Carey. He was born on March the 12th, which is actually my youngest sister's birthday. So he was a Pisces. So shout out Julius Curious, aka Shonuff, aka the Shogun of Harlem. You know what I'm saying? So this actually just happened, and it wound up just being synchronized that his birthday is coming up, and I decided I wanted to do a little a ponytail, because I rarely put my hair in a ponytail. I normally leave it out, or I twist it or something like that. So just to do something different. Then I got my red lipstick on. Let Me Kiss You to Your Lipstick Gone. If y'all know anything about Trey Songz, that was his best album, actually. My favorite album, and that was one of my favorite songs, Red Lipstick. I think it's called Red Lipstick. But anywho's, again, big up yourself, Julius Carey, for your great acting and comedic and just skills in the movie The Last Dragon. And the movie The Last Dragon actually was released March the 22nd, 1985. So it's about to have its 34th anniversary. 10 days after Julius Carey's birthday, it will have its 34th anniversary of the release date of that movie. So yes, The Last Dragon, one of my favorites of all time. Anywho's, I'm gonna go ahead and get into what this video is about, because I spent a little time bigging up my man Julius Carey and the whole Last Dragon cast, because that movie, the cast just worked perfectly together. You know what I'm saying? It was a perfect mix. And also shouting out the Trey Songz album. What was the name of that album? I could Google it real quick. I think it was Pleasure and Pain. That was his best album to me, my opinion. I could listen to it from the first song to the last one, and I probably would listen to it today, because me putting on the red lipstick got me inspired, Anywho's, this video actually is inspired by this guy that I used to have a relationship with. We weren't quote unquote boyfriend and girlfriend. We just had a fun together. Like, we played video games. We had intimate relationship, but we also cooked together and just had fun together. So we are now, like, still cool. I talk to him from every now and again, and I have always been the person that people who I work with have a tendency to want advice from, like about relationship advice, and also just to tell me what's going on with them. So kind of like energy vamping type of shit. Just to keep it real, it can be a little energy vamping from certain people, and he's one of those people. This is no disrespect to him, I'm just keeping it real. I'm being honest. So he's a bit of an energy vamp, and it's crazy because I started to become more aware, or more conscious of, when he reaches out to me, tends to be during certain moon cycles. So new moon, he reached out right before the new moon in Pisces, and Pisces is a water sign. It is also a feminine sign, and his sun sign is in Cancer. So he is already really ruled by the tides of the moon. We all are influenced by it, but he is ruled by it, like ruled. I mean, to the point where I can pretty much know when he is going through things. So he reached out to me, and he actually said that I should be the mediator for him and his new girlfriend, because they're going through issues, and To be honest, every relationship, he's going to go through issues until he identifies within himself what the issue is. And that's with all of us. We all continue certain cycles until we identify that quote unquote negative behavior in ourselves, and then not only identify that behavior, start to work on balancing ourselves. So anywho's, they were here texting me now because I was actually supposed to hang out with a couple of people, but not gonna be able to do it. You know, today just feels like a day where I need to like take some time and do some research on myself and do some cleansing, because I've been cleansing a lot lately. I can feel the spring energy in the air and needing to purge and clean things, and that's internally, and that's also externally. So when you start to clean up yourself internally, you actually start to clean up your space around you as well, because you might notice that you've been a little less than tidy. Like, my less than tidy is probably not like everybody else's. I'm a pretty clean person. I'm pretty orderly. So, but still, it wasn't as orderly as I normally keep things. So it's time for me to let go of some things and get rid of some things and make room for some new things to come into my life, you know? But anywho's, getting back to him, so he wanted me to kind of mediate for him and his girlfriend, even though he's had already reached out to have some type of form of professional counseling done. That's somebody with a degree, 1 degree or whatever the fuck, psychology or whatever. And this is no disrespect, but we all know that the education system is not geared towards really giving people the tools to truly like help other people manage their own lives, manage their own emotions, manage their own, you know, addictions or anything like that, you know. So it'll give you like some of the steps, but it really is about you continuing to keep going to that person, because as long as you keep going to that person, they keep making paper, okay? But anywho, so his biggest thing, which is in any relationship, is he feels that his needs are not being met. The person's not being as emotionally available. The person's not giving him enough affection. The person's not making him feel loved. And so the reason why I wanted to do this video is because how in the hell can we ask someone to make us feel loved? And anyone who's feels that they need someone else to make them feel loved is because they do not love themselves in the way that they need to. And so you're normally like basically abusive to yourself, meaning like you don't think highly of yourself, so there's low self-esteem going on, and you feel like fixing things physically is going to change the type of people you attract, and also is going to make you feel better. And it never does, because anything that you try to fix on the outside without first going inside is always going to fail. It'll be like a facade that you're putting on to like something, you know, basically a fake mask, a persona that you're putting on to not let everybody know that you're really fucking not happy on the inside. And so if I told him the truth, he would actually have a bit of a issue with that, because he's not ready to receive that information. So, but for me, I definitely felt like it's something that I wanted to share with, you know, my subscribers, and also people who just come up on this video and who might be going through some similar things. The reason why I can speak on this, and the reason why we were first attracted to each other, we were magnets for each other, is because I was the same way. The way that he feels about himself, I used to feel similar way about myself. So we were vibrating on the same frequency. So that's why we were actually able to even be in a relationship. And I had to come to realization and be honest with myself about that and say, hey, you know, bitch, the reason why, hey, queen, the reason why you attracted somebody like that who was just emotionally struggling and also low self-esteem and needing someone else to build them up is because I was doing the same thing to myself. I was also a very negative about the way I felt about myself. I was negative about a lot of things, and even though like physically I seemed to have it together because I had my own little townhouse with an unfinished basement I was renting, and I had this nice furniture. Like I had this Cindy Crawford sectional, and I had this almost 60-inch TV, and you know, this nice bed. I had all these physical things, but none of that mattered to me. Like I was still craving for like somebody that really loved me, and still craving for, you know, like some type of family love, just looking all outside of myself to fulfill my needs and to fulfill me on the inside. And the only person that could do that was me. So when I finally got to the point where I started to like emotionally break down because I kept pretending and pretending, but I wasn't healing myself. I wasn't really being my own, you know, psychiatrist. I wasn't really being my own, you know, nurturer. And so I had to become that. You know, you have to be whatever you feel that you need on the outside. You actually have to be that state. So if you feel like you need money, you need to be that on the inside, meaning you need to already be abundant in money on the inside. You need to already be abundant in your value on the inside. So when you start valuing yourself and you see that your value, like example of that, I was thinking the other day about who puts a value on things. Who says that, you know, a diamond ring is should start at a certain amount of money? Who says that the size of the diamond ring could, you know, you could spend like thousands of dollars on a diamond ring? Like who makes that value? Who makes it valuable? We do. We make something valuable. So anybody can set a price for something, but if you don't see the value in it, they wind up having to drop the price. That's even if you're going house shopping. Somebody can say that this house is a $300,000 house, but nobody is, you know, making any offers on the house. So then the sellers start dropping the price until somebody bites, or they start making renovations on the house in order to get the house to the value that they want to sell it for. Same thing with yourself. So in order to truly see the value in that, to me, I'm priceless. Like anybody who gets my time, my attention, my love, my affection, all of that, they have literally won the fucking lottery, okay? And I had to learn that within myself, but I had to raise my value because I literally had to do renovations within myself. I had to go deep down inside this house, and I had to start to like tear certain things down. You know, like you go in a house and you're doing a renovation. I love watching those types of shows, and they go and somebody wants an open floor plan, you know, and that's really what I wanted on the inside. I wanted an open floor plan, me basically being able to easily navigate through myself and pinpoint any little thing that I felt needed to be tweaked or I felt could be better. So, you know, they go in, they start knocking down walls. That's what you got to do inside yourself. Start knocking down these walls and these barriers and all these walls that you put up to guard yourself, you know what I'm saying, from all these niggas, you don't understand, that you felt might be trying to come and take from you or hurt you. Because most people just don't want to go through hurt, because hurt can be painful. But when you start looking at hurt from a sense of the fact that hurt is actually it's like putting your hand on the fire and it burning you, you're learning a lesson from it. Yeah, this can burn, but it could also build me up. It might, you know, break me down, but I can also utilize that to build myself back up and build myself up into a way that I don't allow anybody else's opinion. I don't allow an end of a relationship or anything to break me. You know, it actually makes me stronger, and I take from that relationship or whatever what I was meant to get, because if it didn't last, then it wasn't meant to last. You know what I'm saying? However, that person that person would have taught you something, or in my instance, each person that I was with taught me something about myself, either things I liked about myself or things I did not like about myself. And what I had to do was figure out why I didn't like that thing about myself. And if I did not like it, you know, accept myself who I was, but also go ahead and start making changes. You know what I'm saying? Because change is growth. And so, and when I say accept yourself, I mean not guilting yourself in because you are doing something you don't like, and not shaming yourself for doing something that you don't like. And that is where a lot of people are falling short, and that's why a lot of people are continuing to get into these relationships, and they keep repeating the same pattern, but then they want to say it's that person. Oh, this person don't love me, this person doesn't give me enough affection, this person don't do that. But you really haven't went inside in your own. It's like cleaning out your own house before you can you know, say somebody else's house is fucked up. Like, you know, is that saying like, don't throw stones in a glass house? Literally, that is exactly what that means. In your crystallized house, you shouldn't be throwing stones at nobody else's house, because your house is dirty on the inside, meaning there are things within yourself that you need to clean up. And so I really wanted to, you know, do this video because I wanted to express that information and express myself when it comes to that whole expecting love from somebody else when you do not love yourself, expecting kindness from someone else when you do not offer kindness to others, you know, expecting people to support you, but you don't support others. And support is not always about giving money. Support can be, you know, just giving your kind words. It can be giving appreciation. It could be putting energy into somebody by like sharing their post or following them, or it can be donating and giving to them, whatever it may be. But it is really fruitless for you to expect for someone to give you something that you are not giving in return. The way the universe works is the flow, the intake of the flow is something flows in, something flows out, something flows in, something flows out. And if you are always wanting things to flow in, but you're never letting something flow out, then you really don't have room. It's like having a cup that is full, but you're asking for more and more and more. Now, you can look at it for both ways, and you can say, okay, yes, my cup might be full, but in order with it being full, it can overflow into others. That is very, very true. But that means that, to me, in my perspective, at some point you do need to allow for it to maybe go halfway. You know, maybe go a quarter, and then it starts to fill back up, because you don't want old stagnant, you know, energy sitting there, old stagnant water or energy sitting there. That's what emotions of anger and fear, those are old stagnant emotions that you have left bottled up inside of you. And that's why when certain things happen, you wind up exploding, because you literally just let that pressure cooker, let that energy sit inside of you and fester. And you know, it's like waiting for a bomb to explode, waiting for, you know, the really, that's the best way to put it. It was something else I was thinking of, but right now it's not coming to the forefront of my mind. But yeah, I just really wanted to share that with you guys. Be more of a analyzer of yourself, and be more of and still be empathetic to yourself. Give empathy to yourself, and that way you will also give empathy to others. If you want a successful relationship with others, you got to have a successful relationship within yourself. You got to love yourself. You got to truly champion yourself. You got to be a fan for yourself. You got to ride for yourself. You got to do all those things for self in order for you to be a magnet to attract those things back to you. Because if you are loving on yourself, if you are uplifting yourself, and if you are being a friend and a champion for yourself, then you will find somebody else who will also give you that energy. I literally sometimes will just start calling myself something. Like when I was in Jamaica, I would call myself a queen. I would call myself an empress. Now, even in Jamaica, though, I will say they already call you a princess and an empress. When I first got there, that's all I heard, you know. However, I didn't hear queen. I started calling myself, I was like, I am a queen. I'm in the mirror, I am a queen. I'm just thinking in my mind, I am a queen. Next thing I know, here's somebody coming, hey, queen of all queens, or whatever. And I'm like, damn. You just start hearing people saying things that you were already telling yourself. So that's like an exercise you can do. And I talked about this in my video that I posted yesterday, how I would think certain things and I noticed how things were manifesting much quicker. Start doing that. Literally, that's a great exercise for yourself. So like if you want people to give you love, start loving in yourself. When you get up in the AM, look in the mirror. It might be uncomfortable at first, but keep doing it. Look in the mirror and you say, I am divine love. I am a beautiful being. I am full of light. I am full of love. I am prosperous. I am abundant. And I used to just say I'm abundant, but now I start saying that I'm abundant in love, I'm abundant in wealth, because you can have abundance in a negative way. So you can be abundant in poverty, you know, so it just keeps coming. There's nothing but abundant, you know. You can be abundant in attracting like bad things, meaning things that you do not want. So you can be abundant in attracting the same negative thoughts. You can be abundant in a lot of things that you don't necessarily want. So be more specific. So you know, like I said, I'm abundant in love, and I like to say divine love, because divine love is the only true love in my opinion. I am abundant in peace. I'm abundant in prosperity. I am abundant in riches. I am abundant in, you know, happiness. I'm abundant in joy. I'm abundant in bliss. So, you know, just making it a regular routine. And sometimes I even find myself before I go to sleep just lying in bed and I'm saying these things to myself. You know what I'm saying? I am God. I am a creator. I am a successful businesswoman. I am an entrepreneur. You know, I create life. So yeah, you just want to get to the point where you are bigging yourself up, lifting yourself up, and praising yourself, deifying yourself, so that you start to erase and rewrite the program that you originally had. So you had a program of self-destruction, you had a program of abusive thoughts and of a very poisonous mentality. So you start programming yourself. And I talked about this in some other videos about subconscious programming and having certain mantras. I read a couple of books and things on that, but I did start to take on my own mantras, because the more you start doing it, the more you'll find that you will create things that are more beneficial for yourself and not, you know, the general, you know, public, the general consciousness, you know. So, and that is what anybody who writes a book, a lot of times they will tell you that you'll start to create your own way of doing things, and that's a beautiful thing. That really means that you are starting to make it more of a conscious part of who you are. And then when you start making it conscious, then you bring it to your subconscious, you know. So you're feeding it to your subconscious, and then your subconscious is now making that a part of your reality. I had forgot my PIN number. I was using what is it called? CashApp. I was using my CashApp card in the grocery store yesterday, and it declined. I was like, well, there's money, so why is it declining? When I tried to use it as a credit, it still declined. And I didn't recall what the PIN number was, because I had never used it as a PIN. I always just put it in there and it would work, but at this particular store, it just wouldn't work. So the man behind me, it was only one item. The man behind me, had a whole bunch of groceries. And he was like, you know what? I got it. This was yesterday. He's like, I got it. Go ahead. I was like, oh, well, thank you. And this so happened to be on Friday, Venus Day. And also, which, you know, Venus is love energy. And I attract love. I attract divine love, you know. And not only was it Venus Day, it actually was International Women's Day yesterday. So this melanated, you know, this man in a melanated bodysuit, you know, blessed me and said, here, you know, you go ahead and go and take your, it was cabbage. Take your you know, not even $3 cabbage and go on about your business. So I was like, oh, you know, wow, give thanks. I really appreciate it. So his energy, he actually gave purchase with his currency, which everything is currency because everything's energy, but he purchased with his electronic money my cabbage, and I gave him back currency in appreciation because I was very appreciative because he didn't have to do that, you know. And those are the types of like things that'll happen. And I even talked about how I was walking and it had started drizzling a little bit, and I was like, yeah, you know, it's good, everything. Like, I'll keep walking. I think I'm gonna actually walk today because I just really want to get out and be out and about, maybe go to the park or something, or maybe just walk all the way up to the town just to get out and walk. And what was I about to say? I just started going on whatever. Oh, but anywho's, long story short, just to put the energy out there. See, I'll start rambling sometimes. That's another reason, like, just to take a break sometimes for the videos, because I'll find myself like kind of wanting to speak on certain things, but then when I do that, then I might not recall where I was at the last point. And that's really just because, like, I really feel like, okay, I want to make sure that I'm expressing myself, but that's me, to me, sometimes overthinking it, because letting it flow from you naturally is really the best way to go. Let it flow. And my Tony Braxton. So yeah, guys, I know this video is actually longer than I planned on it being, but sometimes, you know, plans don't always work out that way, but they work out the way it's supposed to work out. So I'll keep it at that. Anywho, I'm going to end the video on this note. Oh, it was one last thing I want to say. I have been getting into my natal chart even more, and I really find like that's just like a working thing. So like maybe 1 month I'm not really dealing with it as much, but something will come up and it'll make me look at my natal chart. So I am a Sagittarius sun, because I was born on November the 26th, 1978, which my life path number adds up to the number 8. And if you don't know what a life path number is, I might do a video on it, or you can Google life path number. But basically that is telling you kind of like what your purpose is, like the type of energy your purpose is, and whatnot. And you get that number by adding up all the numbers in your birthday. That's the month, the day, and the year. And yeah, so like I said, I'm a Sagittarius sun, 11/26/1978, and I am a Libra moon. So the Sagittarius is the fire, and the fire is masculine. The Libra moon is an air sign, and it is masculine as well. So I have a masculine sun and a masculine moon. And but to me, the most important part of your natal chart, I shouldn't say most important, but it's the most important part of your inner journey a lot of times, is your ascendant sign. And my ascendant sign is Cancer, and it totally explains it, because I never felt like I was a true Sagittarius. Like when people will say the sun sign, they're like, oh, this person's outgoing, like they just want to be seen, they the life of the party. And I'm not saying when I got some drinks into me I didn't have a good time and turn up, you know, and become the life of the party, because I can be that. I can turn on that Sagittarius. But I found myself being more of a nurturer. I found myself being more of a Cancer. And so that's that emotional, that crab energy, and really like kind of like going into your shell and not really, being more introvert. That's how I see it a lot of times with the Cancer. You can be very much of an introvert, going inside of yourself, having a whole bunch of fucking emotions, but not really expressing your emotions to people, kind of putting on a show. So that's why I find that I attract people a lot of times who want me to kind of like be the helper and the nurturer, that mother and everything. I don't have any children in this lifetime, like that I actually birthed, but I have plenty of children, as far as the fact that I have become like the second mama to a lot. My nieces and nephews used to call me second mama all the time. And you know, so I always had that type of nurturing. And so I think I'm actually going to do a video on this and like cut this shit off right now. Like cut it, 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 cut it. Woo, that used to be my shit. You know, it's straight hood. I have my hood ratchet songs because, you know, that's just, I have my shit, you know, that just gets me there. So I'm going to cut the video on this note, but I'm going to do a video getting into what I call the holy trinity of your natal chart. So tune into that shit. I'm about to go on and do that now, y'all. So I appreciate y'all for watching. Peace. Show enough is the master.